Welcome to the English Spoken TV, where you learn English through real conversations about topics that matter. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Maya. Today, we are talking about something that affects every single person on Earth: climate change. And we are making it simple. We are making it understandable. We are making it speakable.
Climate change is everywhere. On the news, in conversations, at dinner tables around the world.
But when you try to talk about it in English, if it is not your first language, suddenly it feels complicated.
You know what you think, but you struggle to express it.
I'm Maya, and this is Ryan. Welcome to the Real English Learning Podcast.
Today, we're talking about something that affects all of us: climate change. And specifically, how to talk about it in English.
Because this is not a conversation you should have to sit out. The climate is not waiting for you to feel confident about the vocabulary.
And the truth is, you probably know more than you think. You just need the right language to express it.
So today, we are going to make this accessible. We are going to talk about climate without the jargon. We are going to talk about real conversations you might have.
And we are going to give you the language to participate in one of the most important conversations of our time.
This is a B1 to B2 level conversation, but the concepts apply to all levels.
Because caring about the planet does not require advanced English. It just requires honesty and words.
Let's start with something basic but important: the difference between climate and weather. Because people often confuse these.
What is the difference?
Weather is what is happening right now, today, this week. It is immediate and changeable.
So, it is raining today. It is sunny tomorrow. That is weather?
Exactly. But climate is the long-term pattern. Climate is what we expect over decades and centuries.
So, if I say, this summer was very hot, that is weather. But if I say, summers are getting hotter every year, that is climate?
Yes, and this distinction matters because people sometimes say, it was so cold this winter, so climate change is not real.
They are confusing 1 week of cold with long-term patterns.
Exactly. And when you understand the difference, you can explain it to people who are confused.
So the first sentence you might say is, climate and weather are different things. Weather changes daily. Climate changes over time.
And that simple distinction helps so much.
Because once people understand that, the whole conversation becomes clearer.
Climate is also regional. The climate in one place might be changing differently than in another place.
So climate change does not mean everywhere is getting hotter.
Right. It means global average temperatures are rising. But locally, some places might get wetter, some might get drier, some might get more storms.
So when someone says, my city is not warming up, that could be true locally, but still consistent with global climate change.
And understanding that helps you have conversations that are not about proving people wrong.
Now, once you understand the basics, the conversation usually turns to causes. Why is climate changing?
And this is where you need clear language, because causes and effects are connected in complex ways.
So how do you talk about it?
You can say, greenhouse gases trap heat in the atmosphere. That is the basic mechanism.
And where do greenhouse gases come from?
Burning fossil fuels. Coal, oil, natural gas. These release carbon dioxide. Transportation, electricity, heating, these all burn fossil fuels.
So when I drive a car, I am releasing carbon dioxide?
Yes. Not just you individually. The whole system burns fossil fuels. But yes, fossil fuel-based transportation contributes.
And carbon dioxide accumulates in the atmosphere?
It stays there for a long time. Centuries.
So the carbon dioxide we emit today will be in the atmosphere for hundreds of years.
Which is why this is not a problem we can just solve next year.
Exactly. The effects are already happening. Warmer temperatures, changing rainfall patterns, rising sea levels, more frequent extreme weather.
And these effects have consequences.
Ecosystems shift. Agriculture is affected. Some places become uninhabitable. People migrate. Conflicts happen over resources.
So climate change is not just environmental. It is social, economic, political.
Yes, and that is important to understand because people sometimes think climate change is just about polar bears.
But it is about human survival, about justice, about who suffers the most.
Poorer countries often suffer the most, even though they contributed the least to the problem.
Which is complicated to talk about, but important.
And when you understand these connections, you can have deeper conversations.
But what about solutions? Because climate conversations can feel very heavy.
They can, but there are solutions. This is important to know.
Like what?
Renewable energy. Solar, wind, hydroelectric. These exist and they work.
They are growing too, right?
Yes. In many countries, renewable energy is now cheaper than fossil fuels. So economics is shifting toward clean energy.
So it is not just moral, it is also practical?
Also, changing how we live. Consuming less, buying less, traveling more sustainably, eating differently.
So individuals can make choices?
Yes, individual choices matter, but systemic change matters more. Individual action plus systemic change.
So I should not feel guilty just because I drive a car.
No, guilt is not useful. Understanding is useful. And then choosing how you want to act based on your values.
So the conversation is not you are bad for driving. It is how can we build a world where driving less is easier?
Exactly. And that is a completely different conversation.
Now, how do you actually have these conversations with people?
With curiosity instead of judgment. You ask, what is your biggest concern about climate? And you listen.
Instead of immediately telling them why they are wrong?
Yes. Most people are not denying climate change because they are bad. They are confused, or they feel overwhelmed, or they do not see how it affects them personally.
So the conversation is about understanding, not winning.
And people are much more willing to listen when they feel heard first.
So the language is important. You might say, I understand why this is frustrating, but here is what I have learned.
Or, I used to think that too, but then I learned, and it changed how I see things.
That is much better than, that is wrong, and here is the science.
Because you are meeting people where they are.
And honestly, every conversation matters. Every person who understands even a little bit changes the collective understanding.
And that is how global change happens. Person to person, conversation to conversation.
Which is why your voice matters, in English or in any language.
Because the planet cannot wait for everyone to be fluent. It just needs people who care and can communicate.
Which brings us to the vocabulary that makes these conversations easier.
The language of climate and environment.
That helps you sound informed and thoughtful.
Should we dive into those words?
Yes, I think people will feel so much more confident after this.
Let's give them that confidence. Now, welcome to the Word Tour. 10 essential words for climate and environmental conversations.
These are the words that help you understand what you read and speak with confidence.
First, greenhouse gas. A greenhouse gas is a gas that traps heat in Earth's atmosphere, like carbon dioxide and methane.
Example 1. The main greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide from burning fossil fuels.
Example 2. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions is the core of climate action. Repeat. Greenhouse gas.
Next, emissions. Emissions are substances released into the air, usually gases from vehicles, factories, or burning fuel.
Example 1. Vehicle emissions are a major contributor to climate change.
Example 2. Countries are trying to reduce their emissions to meet climate targets. Repeat. Emissions.
Next, fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are coal, oil, and natural gas, energy sources formed from ancient plants and animals.
Example 1. We depend on fossil fuels for most of our energy.
Example 2. Transitioning away from fossil fuels is essential for addressing climate change. Repeat. Fossil fuels.
Next, renewable energy. Renewable energy is energy that comes from natural sources that never run out, like sun, wind, or water.
Example 1. Solar and wind are the fastest growing renewable energy sources.
Example 2. Renewable energy is now competitive with fossil fuels economically. Repeat, renewable energy.
Next, climate crisis. A climate crisis is an urgent, severe situation where climate change threatens human survival and ecosystems.
Example 1. Many scientists now use the term climate crisis instead of climate change to emphasize urgency.
Example 2. Young people are particularly concerned about the climate crisis we are leaving them. Repeat, climate crisis.
Next, carbon footprint. A carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases someone produces through their actions.
Example 1. Flying has a large carbon footprint because aircraft burn lots of fuel.
Example 2. Many people are trying to reduce their carbon footprint by changing their choices. Repeat, carbon footprint.
Next, sustainability. Sustainability is the ability to meet current needs without damaging the ability of future generations to meet theirs.
Example 1. Sustainable agriculture does not deplete the soil for future crops.
Example 2. Building sustainable cities requires thinking long-term. Repeat, sustainability.
Next, climate adaptation. Climate adaptation is adjusting to the effects of climate change already happening.
Example 1. Building stronger defenses against flooding is a form of climate adaptation.
Example 2. Adaptation is necessary even if we stop emissions today because some change is already locked in. Repeat, climate adaptation.
Next, ecosystem. An ecosystem is a community of living things and their environment, all interconnected.
Example 1. Coral reef ecosystems are dying from warming ocean temperatures.
Example 2. Protecting ecosystems protects biodiversity, which we depend on. Repeat, ecosystem.
And our final word, mitigation. Mitigation is taking action to reduce or prevent something harmful. In climate terms, reducing emissions.
Example 1. Switching to renewable energy is a mitigation strategy.
Example 2. Mitigation and adaptation are both necessary responses to climate change. Repeat. Mitigation.
Your 10 words: greenhouse gas, emissions, fossil fuels, renewable energy, climate crisis, carbon footprint, sustainability, climate adaptation, ecosystem, mitigation.
These words give you the foundation to understand and discuss climate change confidently.
And that is our episode, Climate Change, and your voice in the conversation.
The climate is changing. That is not up for debate. But the conversation about how we respond, that is something every single person can participate in.
And it matters. Your understanding, your conversations, your choices, they all matter.
So speak up, even imperfectly, especially imperfectly, because perfect English is less important than genuine concern for our shared future.
Our comment question: what is one climate action you are taking or thinking about taking? Tell us.
We want to hear what matters to you.
Subscribe to the Spoken English TV for conversations about the world we live in and the future we are building.
Take care of your English and take care of our planet. This is Ryan.
Maya. And this is Maya. We will see you in the next podcast. Bye.